Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fun and awesome episode of Youth Connect. I'm Aiden.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Logan.
I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. Hello, guys. Welcome to another awesome episode of Youth Connect. I hope you guys are excited for awesome news, like, for example, gaming, some world news, some cooking knowledge, and even, if you're really looking forward towards it, some live music. I think there's, what was that? Anyways, for those who don't know, what in the world is Youth Connect? Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that was created during the pandemic for the community and by the community. Everyone here is going to be sharing with you some awesome news, as I said before. But when we always start off Youth Connect, we always have to bring off some gaming news. Okay, guys, so the first part of our news is that we have to do our Spotlight Game of the Week. What does that mean? Well, basically, it's a game that I want to shine the light on. And today's Spotlight Game of the Week is called Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. So this game is called Super Crazy Rhythm Castle, the chaotic rhythm adventure, a puzzling co-op mashup unlike anything you've ever heard or seen. You'll be working together to think outside the box while keeping your combo, either doing it solo or band up with a team of three friends. Can you conquer the castle? It will be an unforgettable journey with a light heart and a tapping foot. You'll become one with the music and the madness. Unlike heroes, you will be approaching Rhythm Castle. Inside, the unhinged King Ferdinand awaits, ready to defend his crown and ruin your day. You must overcome his twisted challenges and beat him at his own game. You must be throwing beans into an ancient summoning ritual. You'll be shutting down a giant eggplant DJ, covered tiny meat people in gravy for reasons that we promise will become clear. All while keeping the beat. There's a lot happening in this game, and that's why it's called Super Crazy Rhythm Castle, because it's crazy. Now, as you heard before, not feeling like you want to do it on your own, there is some chaotic cooperative gameplay that is fun and accessible. And let's say you're not a pro at rhythm games, each player can play their music in 3-button or 4-button mode, or hop out to focus on puzzling while your buddy covers the music. Whether you go solo or sync up with friends, get ready to embrace the madness and take on challenges of Rhythm Castle. Of course, if you're not big into the story point, you can just escape to the musical room of the elevator arcade, where instead of dealing with puzzles and all that junk, you can just do some classic music. Easy peasy music where you can unlock a bunch of gold medals for completing a perfect beat. And you'll be having a lot of fun by doing tricky tasks and doing some blasting action. You'll be solving a lot of puzzles and a lot of levels in this crazy castle. Anyways, this game has been Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. Please check it out. It's on PC, it's on Switch, it's on Xbox. It's a really cool rhythm game, and I'm a big fan of rhythm games. Rhythm games are awesome. Anyways, though, without further ado, let's keep the train moving. And next up is Kevin with some all-important news, and I just cannot wait to hear his important fact of the day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Is it working? Sorry. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Youth Connect with me, Kevin Aruja. So let's get right to the headlines. The Canadian astronaut Joshua Kirktrick to join mission to International Space Station. The Toronto Pearson Airport warns of possible weather delays ahead of American Thanksgiving weekend. Toronto library systems won't be restored until 2024 after October cyber attack. And least but not least, FIFA renews with Qatar Airways as a sponsor for the Men's World Cup in 2026 and 2030. Another Canadian astronauts will be heading to the International Space Station Joshua Kutryk has been assigned to a 6-month mission that will launch no earlier than the beginning of 2025. Francois-Philippe Champagne, Federal Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry, made the announcement today at the Canadian Space Agency headquarters near Montreal. As well, Champagne says Jenny Gibbons has been assigned as a backup astronaut for the historic Artemis II mission to the moon. There are 4 active Canadian astronauts, with the most junior pair, Gibbons and Kutryk, selected in 2017. The other 2 are David St. Jackie and Jeremy Hansen, both of whom joined the astronaut corps in 2009. St. Jackie spent more than 6 months aboard the International Space Station in 2018 and 2019. The Kutryk will become the 4th Canadian astronaut to serve a long-duration mission on the mission. Gibbons will replace Hansen as if ever he's unable to take part of the Artemis II mission, which will send a crew of 4 into space as nearly as November 2024 for a flight around the moon. The Toronto Pearson Airport is warning of possible delays due to the inclement weather ahead of American Thanksgiving, on holiday weekend. On Wednesday morning, delays were reported in flights destined for the U.S. Eastern Seaboard. Pearson said in a tweet shared on Twitter, those delays could stretch into the afternoon. To minimize wait time at the airport, Pearson recommends to travelers heading into the U.S. download the Mobile Passport Control app. Designed by the United States Customs and Border Protection, the app allows travelers to submit their customs form ahead of time. For those arriving in Canada, the CBSA offers travelers the ability to submit their customs and immigration forms up to 72 hours in advance using advanced declaration. Captain travelers are also eligible to reserve their spot at security using YYZ Express. The Toronto Library says its systems, which were the target of cyber attack in late October, will remain down until 2024. The library anticipates that access to services will be restored gradually beginning in January. Priority will be given to the library's computer systems and a reinstatement of its website. The TPL website, as well as the public computers and printers at their physical branches, have been down since the system was targeted by a ransom attack on October 28th. Officials believe that the private data of current and former employees, including social insurance number and copy of government-issued identification, were likely stolen. Cardholders and donor databases were unaffected, officials said. However, some data on a server may have been exposed. Library officials have said that staff are working with third-party experts to restore the systems and enhance its network security before bringing everything back online. The library branches remain open for browsing and use for other services. And in sports news, Qatar Airways has been renewed as the airline sponsors for the Men's World Cup in 2026 in North America and the 2030 tournament expected to be in Europe, Africa, and South America, in its said statement on Wednesday. The state-owned airline initially had a 2-tournament deal for the 2018 World Cup in Russia and in 2022's edition in Qatar. The World Cup airline slot should be vacant for the 2034 tournament, which is expected to be hosted by Saudi Arabia. The Saudis plan to launch a second national carrier called Riyadh Air. The value of a new Qatar Airways deal was not disclosed, but is unlikely worth hundreds of millions of dollars at World Cup finals. Trophy and medal presentation assistants were addressed in the airline's uniform. The airline was among 7 top-tier men's World Cup sponsors in the 2019 to 2022 commercial cycle, which FIFA said earned almost the US $1.8 billion in total marketing rights sales. It includes selected FIFA youth tournaments and the 2027 Women's World Cup, which will have a host chosen in May. The 2026 World Cup will be the first expanded tournament at 48 teams instead of 32. playing 104 games instead of 64, and sending teams, fans, and officials across 16 cities in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. In today's weather forecast, we've got a few flurries this afternoon. The temperature is now 0 degrees. And tomorrow we will get a mix of sun and clouds and the temperature will be 3 degrees. And now for the new topic, I'm going to talk about snowberries. Well, technically it is snowberries. Winter is the snowberry season. A wintry walk may reveal snowberry as a leafless shrub with waxy, snow-white berries clinging to thin, wiry branches. Uh, sim, sim, I can't spell that. Sorry. Some snowberries or common snowberry grows in a variety of wild habitats and attractive shrubs for home gardens. In late summer and autumn, fertilized flowers develop into round green fruit, which ripens into puffy white berries. Eventually, the green leaves turns yellow and fall from the branches, leaving behind the berries that persist on the shrub through winter. The scientific name symphory originates from the Greek word symphorion. It means bear together. Karpos or karpos in Greek means fruit, and albus is white. Therefore, snowberry is named for its white fruit that grows or bears together in closely packed clusters. Now, for the fact about snowberries, the first one is habitat and distribution. Snowberries are native to the Pacific Northwest and commonly found from low to mid elevations below 1,219 meters, both east and west of the Cascades. This shrub grows in woodlands, along stream banks, and on north-facing slopes, from southeast Alaska to southern California, and across the northern United States and Canadian provinces. And the second fact is reproduction. Snowberries rarely regenerated by seed. The primary method for reproduction is through sprouting from underground stems called uh, rhizomes. Rhizomes sprout after fire or other disturbances. In fire-prone areas, plants sprouting from rhizomes are often the first plants to recolonize. And the last fact is ethnobotanical uses. Snowberry fruits contain saponin, a naturally soapy substance with antioxidant and antimicrobial effects on the skin. Fresh berries can be crushed and rubbed on skin to cleanse and soothe. They also heal rashes and burns. Native Americans used their berries to clean their hair. Roots were soaked to make tea to treat stomach disorders, and tea made from twigs treated fevers. So this is Kevin Aruja reporting news from Youth Connect, and I'm sending it back to Aiden. See you next Friday.
So I'm actually researching about strawberries. Apparently, as much as they are edible fruits, they are actually considered to taste like soap. And apparently, they are actually flavored in a sort of gum that tastes like soap. Imagine a soap flavored gum. That sounds pretty weird. But snowberries are usually used in hair supplies mostly. And it's awesome to see how versatile this amazing plant is. Now, I will ask our culinary chef, Logan. Logan, have you ever seen or tasted a snowberry or no? Is that more of a no?
No, I never actually heard of it before.
Okay.
This is new for me.
Definitely new for me as well. Thank you so much, Kevin. You know what? It's always awesome to hear all the news that you have to share. So, guys, here's some second gaming news. And remember last week how we were talking about overpriced things? Well, it is time for another. So, guys, I want to talk to you about Pokemon. I love Pokemon. Pokemon is awesome. I mean, I haven't played it in a few years, but I love seeing what kind of new Pokemon are being released. And I was looking, and apparently they're releasing these awesome, really greeting cards, but more specifically, a birthday card. And then this is where it starts getting weird because let me just say this. Guys, I should be clear. This thing is $50. Now, guys, of course, $50 is not too much, and overcharging things is kind of common for people who are big brands, like, for example, Pokemon. But I made sure to triple check my information, and I got to check how many cards are in this $50 pack. Well, it's not even a pack. Usually packs go from like $15 to $20, but it quite literally meant that this card is literally $50 for one. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, there must be some sort of interesting part about it. So let me talk to you about this awesome Pokemon birthday card. So I will say this, the Pokemon card does come with a Pokemon pin too. The site's tiny metal badges also go for wallet punching figures, but they're usually less than $10, and sometimes they can go as much as $25. So it's really, really different depending on what you're going at. But here's the thing. There is a $9.99 Happy New Year Pikachu card for only $9.99. So it adds the same thing of a pin and this, but what's weird is that this new latest birthday card is $50. That's right. That New Year's card with the same pin, the same relatively designed card as well. If it's changed from Happy New Year to Happy Birthday, now it's $50. I don't know where that extra $40 comes from. And I do love the pin. The pin is absolutely adorable. I think that I will get a birthday card from the card section of cards and stuff. You know what? I don't think I can pay $50 for a birthday card. Seems a little bit pricey for it. Now, if it was $20, I think that would be perfectly fine. But you know what? I think $50 is too much. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that $50 is worth one card? I don't know. But again, you have it's your decision. It's your money. I can't stop you, but just do be warned, it's $50. My goodness, it's really expensive. But this is where I would say next up is Joshua. But of course, I'm here to support him, and I am bringing you, again, a good story news. So for the good story news, I'm going to be talking about this awesome person who has saved somebody's life. A Wendy's worker was given the opportunity to have a break from work. Normally, a lot of people would have a lot of fun with that, but this was not time for some R&R. At a franchise located in Richmond Road in Lexington, Kentucky, a man had collapsed in the parking lot, and Alexandria Cowherd was on shift and was alerted to the situation by her coworker. She had already called 911 by the time she arrived at the man's unconscious body, but the color of his face told of the need for immediate action. She said that she didn't panic visibly, but in the back of her head, she was like, what am I going to be doing? But she said that she kind of circuited a little bit before she was like, you know what? I got to do some CPR. I know how to do CPR, and I got to go do those chest compressions. The 22-year-old Alexandria learned CPR in her senior year of high school. And after a short time doing chest compressions, he did that snorting thing again and gasped for air. The whole thing took just a few minutes, but to the adrenaline-soaked mind of Alexandria, it seemed like a long while. So Alexandria saved the life of one person. And you know what? She was working at a Wendy's, guys. So no matter where you are, if you can help somebody out, you should absolutely do that. Now, this young woman is already working at Wendy's while going to school at the BCTC, which is the Bluegrass Community and Technical College. And she will be becoming a future medical professional and that wants to work in the NICU, which is the neonatal intensive care unit, which is usually for babies. So she wants to take care of newly born kids, I guess you could say. But you know what? From the way that she saved a life just like that, I really hope for her the best. And really, I hope that you go far. Now, obviously, she just because she has a future set out for her, as soon as she was done helping that person, she went right back to work. All right, now I'm going to be bringing on the next person. And who do we have next? Let me think. I think we have Logan, who's going to be sharing us his cooking knowledge he has to share.
Hello, Youth Connect. I am Logan, and for this week, we'll be continuing what I discussed last week about all the different types of herbs. So, previously, I talked about a lot of herbs that were more commonly used throughout cuisine, especially during my time in Humber. Today, I'll be talking about some that get a lot less use, and some that you might not have even heard of until today. So, the first herb that I'll be talking about today are bay leaves. Now, bay leaves are, well, they're low leaf. They come often dried, and they can be found around uh, South Southeast Asia as well as Europe, all those places. They're most commonly used in cuisines for Indian, European, and Filipino cuisine. They are most commonly used to flavor soups and stews, and they have a sharp, bitter taste, or at least that's what they say that they're supposed to have. But to be honest, nobody can really notice the flavor of bay leaves in soups and stews. Like, it's a very common joke, even in Humber, that nobody can really identify the bay leaf. So, the next herb that I have to show you all are chives. These are native to North America, Europe, and Asia. They kind of look like a very long strand of grass that are actually hollow inside, if you could take a look. So, they are closely related to onions and garlic, and they're actually one of the 4 fine herbs of French cuisine. So, to quickly go over them, the 4 fine herbs, parsley is one. We talked about that last week. Chives is the second, and we will get to the other 2 shortly after. But still focusing on chives right now, they are commonly sliced thin and used to garnish foods. Think of stuff like omelets, fish, potatoes, or soup. So moving on to the next herb, we have tarragon. Now this is tarragon. It sort of looks like actually, now that I look at it, I'd say that it sort of looks like thyme, but the leaves are a lot longer. So we talked about thyme before. And so tarragon is another one of the 4 fine herbs of French cuisine. It is our third one. And it has a very strong taste. So if you ever want to cook with it, just know that you don't need a whole lot. It's most popularly used to make a French béarnaise sauce, which is basically a hollandaise sauce, but with tarragon in it. And so the next herb that we have to move on to is the final 4th fine herb of French cuisine. This is chervil. It looks sort of like parsley, and it's native to Europe and the Mediterranean. It's commonly used to flavor poultry and seafood dishes, and it's also very popular to use it as a garnish. I used it a couple times to garnish foods at Humber because look at it. It's so pretty. Moving on, the next herb that we have is fennel, and this is actually a pretty interesting herb because it works as both an herb and a vegetable dish. If I get this picture really up close, you can kind of see that there are little strands of, just like little green strands along the stem of the fennel, and this is what's commonly used as an herb. Whereas the vegetable portion is down here, this bulbous part over here that looks kind of like an onion. And so both parts, and so this is technically an herb, but it's also frequently eaten as a vegetable, depending on which part you use. And both parts have a slightly anisey taste, which is sort of like a licorice flavor. So the next herb that I'll be talking about is lavender. Now this is a flowery herb that's found all across the world, and it is related to mint. It has a very strong citrusy aroma, sort of like lemons and oranges and limes. It's commonly used to brew for tea, or or beekeepers will use nectar from, well, the bees will harvest nectar from the lavender and make honey and make lavender honey. It can also be used to make liqueur. And so I think we have enough time for maybe one more herb today, and I'll be talking about lemongrass. Now, lemongrass is native to Southeast Asia, and of course, it gets its name from its lemony scent and taste. It's commonly used in Filipino, Indonesian, and Thai cuisine as sort of a fragrance booster. It's hardly ever eaten by itself because it's actually a very tough, very fibrous herb that doesn't taste that's not very pleasant to eat. So it's most commonly used to flavor or boost the fragrance of food. And it's also commonly used to brew tea. So anyway, those are all the herbs that I'll talk about for today. And who knows if we'll get a part 3, or maybe I'll perhaps move on to a new topic like spices. That sounds like a good idea. So anyway, that's all for today, and back to you, Aiden.
So I will say this. There was a lot of things that we learned about. We learned about bay leaves, tarragon, fennel, lavender, and even lemongrass. You know what's weird? I read that tarragon and fennel both taste like licorice, which is really strange that two of your herbs taste like licorice. Now, I've heard about deep fried lemongrass, but a lot of these like lavender and lemongrass are used for essential oils, especially lavender. And fennel, tarragon, and bay leaves are more of a kind of soup-based or like a stew-based. Like if you were going to use tarragon, it would be more as like a herb on top. But for example, bay leaves and fennel would be used in like a stew, for example, because the more you use bay leaves, the stronger they get. Now, I will ask everybody, guys, if you had to choose out of the 5 herbs that we talked about, which one is your favorite? You guys,
I was thinking bay leaves. Bay leaves is good.
huh?
Bay leaves.
Bay leaves, I agree on that. They're used in a lot of chilies, I know. Jeff, do you have a favorite out of the 5?
Probably the lavender one would be my favorite.
Yeah, lavender is really good smelling. And of course, Logan, what
Yeah,
about
I
you?
love lemon.
Lemongrass is good, but lavender is great for sleeping. It's a very good sleeping.
Yeah, it's the best medicine to, it does work better for sleeping.
Yeah, lavender is used as a what is it? A sedative? I don't know what they call it, but it helps with sleep. Like it makes you sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
But what about Logan? What's your favorite out of the 5?
Well, Aiden, I'd go with probably chives for flavor and sugar for garnishing.
Okay, I could see that. Thank you. All right. Of course, thank you so much, Logan, for your news. It is great to hear about some cooking knowledge. And you know what? It makes me smarter. It makes me think to myself, maybe I should use bay leaves a little bit more. Anyways, it's time for that board game of the week, similar to video game of the week, but now it's a board game. And we have, for this week, the food chain magnate. Lemonade? They want lemonade? What is the world coming to? I want commercials for burgers on all channels every 15 minutes. We are the home of the original burger, not a hippie health haven. And place a billboard next to that new house on the corner. I want them craving things like burgers and drinks every single second as they sit next to their beautiful new garden. The management trainee trembles in front of the CEO and tries to politely point out, how do you mean? Really? We don't have enough staff. Now the HR director reports to you. You must hire new people. You must train them. But whatever you do, don't pay them any real wages. I do not want to go into a business to become poor and fire that discount manager. She is only costing me money. From now on, we'll sell gourmet burgers. Same stuff, double the price. Get my marketing director in here. In this game of food chain magnate, It is a very heavy strategy game about building a fast food chain. The focus is on building your company using a card-driven human resource management system, and players compete on a variable city map through purchasing, marketing, and sales, and on a job market for key staff members. The game can be played by 2 to 5 very serious gamers for 2 to 4 hours. Listen, I don't know about you, but I think a good burger chain has to have some good tasting burgers and great prices. But again, if you want to beat your competition, then technically the cheaper you are, the more money you'll make. So I think I'm going to stick to my good tasting burgers for a good price instead of going cheap burgers for expensive prices. You know what? But again, if you want to win, you got to be a super manager. You know what? I bet you that Logan would be really, really good at this one. Now, again, the board game of the week was Food Chain Magnate. It's a really cool board game. It's a bit serious, so remember, don't go in with a silly mind. You want to be serious in the food chain business. I mean, you could say the same thing about Monopoly, but I mean, I guess go in with whatever, you know what, go with it with whatever attitude you want, because you know what? A good attitude means a good environment. You don't want to be a sweat. A lot of people don't like sweats anyways. So you know what? Make your best food chain. See how you can do it. And you know what? May the best food chain business win. Now, again, this was Food Chain Magnate. Again, sorry for the seriousness, but you know what? It's just for show, guys. I'm not actually that serious. I'm more of a goofy kind of person. But all that aside, we should probably keep going. And if I'm thinking to myself, I think next up we have Jeffrey with some live music, and he's joining us all the way back. Wait, I need to remember. Hold on. Give me my brain. I think they're in Atlanta. I think they're in Atlanta. So here's Jeffrey with some live music all the way from Atlanta.
Hi everybody, I'm Jeff. This is Jeffrey, a live musician, and I hope you're ready to hear some music. And just to let you know, I'm broadcasting all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. So it's gonna be a very special live performance. And I'm gonna be performing I Saw Her Standing There by the Beatles. Just 17, you know what I mean, and the way she looked was way beyond compare. So how can I dance with another? Oh, I saw her standing there. Well, we danced through the night, and we held each other tight. And before too long, I fell in love with her. She wouldn't dance with another. Oh, and I saw her standing there. Well, my heart went boom, when I crossed that room, and I held her hand in mine. Oh, we danced through the night, and we held each other tight, and before too long, I fell in love with her. She wouldn't dance with another. Oh, I saw her standing there. Let's go! Well, my heart went boom when across the room, and I held her in my ear. Oh, we danced through the night, and we held each other tight. And before too long, I fell in love with her. She wouldn't dance with another. Oh, I saw her standing there. So again. Oh, we danced through the night, and we held each other tight. And before too long, I fell in love with her. So how can I dance with another? You saw her standing there. Well, since I saw her standing there. But since I saw her standing there. Thank you, everybody. This is Jeffrey, your live musician. I'll see you all next Friday, and make sure to check out my website, jeffreyankerman.com. Anyway, it's back to you, Aiden. Bye, everybody.
Now, could you just remind me one more time? What was the name of that song? I thought it was called I Saw Her Standing There, but I don't think that's the name.
It is called I Hear by the Beatles.
Oh, it was I Saw Her Standing There. You know what? I loved the energy that you had when you were singing this song. Absolutely awesome. And you know what? It is always cherry on Connect. It's always so much fun to see you get so into your music. It just really puts a smile on my face, honestly. And on the note on that, guys, we have reached the end of our Youth Connect. I just want to say, if you like Youth Connect, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to click the notification bell.
I want to say thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you so much, Logan. And thank you so much, Kevin. And thank you, the viewers that are watching right now. And we will see you all next time. Catch you later, guys, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Catch you later.